need to know that all we have is this. What we can do between now and the 10th of August is all that can be done. As an ex-academic and an ex-politician, and now a person who runs 2 businesses and has her heart in the community and with the poor and struggling communities in particular of this city and of this nation, I've been asked by Aorangi to take part with Glenn Livingston and Sharon Torses and 1 or 2 other in a community action process to work about saving the school. And I've been going around asking people, why should the school remain open? Because all the minister needs to know, she needs to be told, under the Education Act, the community needs to give her the reasons the school should remain open. And I'm going to give you 7 reasons now that I've found. They're not the only reasons. There were more reasons given this morning and earlier in the earlier session, but I think there are 7 clear reasons why the school should remain open, both to support and to improve education in Otautahi, Christchurch. Okay, reason number 1. This school, Aorangi School, is what's called a Decile 3 school. It serves one of the officially most deprived areas in Christchurch. There's a thing called a deprivation map that goes from sort of a pretty yellow if you're rich to a really deep sort of reddy colour if you're really poor. And just not quite here, but just over there, I don't know, I'm not very good at directions. You're just over there, there's a very, very poor area, one of the most deprived areas in Christchurch. And that difference between the very rich northwest and that small deprived area, of course, is almost worse than being deprived over east, where everybody's deprived. You kind of don't notice over there, but here you do notice. And many of the schools around this area have set up enrolment zones so that those red children can't go. Those kids in the red block can't go to those schools. They're not wanted by many of the other schools. All around Aorangi, the higher decile schools have drawn enrolment boundaries to keep out poorer kids, refugee, Māori families. As their roles have grown and they have demanded new facilities and equipment, Aorangi's needs have been neglected and ignored. This is not an argument to close the school. Why should a school community lose its local school just because the community is poor? And that's exactly what's happened. You're not the first. You're not the first. It's happened all over the country, and I'm going to talk a bit about that in a minute. Reason number 2. This Aorangi school has listened to local needs very clearly, otherwise you wouldn't be here. It has a particular interest and expertise in working with, for example, local refugee families. There was some at the public meeting a few weeks ago, listening to them and meeting their children's needs. The children of refugees should not have to become refugees once again, being bounced off to another school. Minister, please build the new and needy migrants in the bright red Norwest a bright new school in their own community. Reason number 3. Aorangi School has the only bilingual unit in the Norwest. Nurtured and supported by the local community and supported strongly here today, this unit is credited with turning around educational achievement for those who attend. Some of those young people who spoke, where's that lovely young lady who just spoke, I wanted to cry, I'd be so proud to have somebody like that as my daughter or my granddaughter. You know, just absolutely fantastic. Māori people speaking with a strong voice at a young age, that's what we need in this community. It needs to be developed further, not moved to somewhere further out where it won't be wanted. If other schools want bilingual units, they can build them too. But they haven't, have they? Only Aorangi has worked with the local community to make the unit happen. Give the bilingual unit shiny new premises, Minister, and watch the children thrive. Reason number 4. It is government policy to raise literacy and numeracy standards in poor communities. It is the very children of Aorangi who need support and attention from the government, not to be shipped further from home and from a community that cares. Give them a bright new school, a shining star in the neighbourhood to be proud of. The area may be lower decile than its surrounds, but that does not mean it should lose all the schooling, but it has. Strengthen the community by rebuilding the school, Minister. Reason number 5. What message does it give to vulnerable communities, the vulnerable communities that support this school, that they are to be sacrificed and shipped off like a truck full of sheep? Please give the children of Aorangi School the message that they are valued citizens. Inevitably. If sent to other schools, they will be teased as the poor kids that nobody wanted. Do we want to see these children as the poor new kids on the block? All of the other schools around a higher decile, all of the other communities look down on this community, and your children will suffer as a result. Do we want to see the good education that these children are undoubtedly giving disrupted? The children of Aorangi will suffer if this school is closed. Reason number 6. The amount of investments to build a new school here is quite small, but the opportunities are fantastic. Unlike Auckland, Christchurch has not been able to benefit from new schools because in Auckland the population is going up and up, and quite a few new schools have been built, and down here I think the last new school, Mary, am I correct, was Queen's Park. The schools here are all models on what schooling looked like in the 1950s and the 1960s. Minister, please use the opportunity that Aorangi offers to give this area a new school, one which embraces all the new characteristics of schooling, like accessibility for all people, including people of a range of cultures, including people with disabilities. Flexible learning, so you don't get stuck in single classrooms all day, but you can mix and match, you can have Mariah-style education, you can do a range of things. A technologically advanced education where the school is wired up to deal with the computer age, and hope this is an opportunity to build a school that everybody in Ototahi Christchurch will come here and admire and want to aspire to. Let's make it the best school in Christchurch. Finally, reason number 7. Let us consider the alternative, Minister, if you do not listen to my pleas. The children of Aorangi will be scattered and forgotten in a range of schools that barely want them and certainly don't know how to cater to their needs. Nearly all of them will have to travel further to a new school. The bilingual unit may or may not survive, but will anyway have the spirit and heart ripped out of it. The refugee community will disperse and may or may not be wanted by these other schools. Since the introduction of Tomorrow's Schools on the 1st of October 1989, nearly 20 years ago, so many low-income schools like this one have suffered. The biggest one that I know of was Surrey Park in Invercargill, which I think Murray was also involved in, a school of 250 students that catered to its community. And you know, we sat round and we cried and we mourned when that school was closed. That school should not have been closed, and neither should this school. In reading, we have gone from first in the world to 6th to 13th and now to 24th. All because the children at the bottom are doing worse, because all the education is now focused on the kids at the top and doing better and this and that, and the children at the bottom have been neglected, their schools have been closed, their needs have not been properly considered. There's many programs going on in the ministry to reverse that. Nevertheless, in world terms, we're going downhill, and when you see a community like this about to be shattered by a school closure, it's not actually hard to see why. It's not rocket science that this school rebuilt will provide a better education for the children in this area. This is not a time to remove facilities and disperse communities. This is a time for bold action, Minister. Please do something fantastic at Aorangi School. Give the community not less than it expects, not some either disperse us off or some little mean building. Use that Capital Works money you announced in the budget and build a new centre of education in this community that this area and the whole of Ototahi Christchurch can be proud of for the future. And there's my plea to the Ministry. Thank you.